Hey guys, welcome back. So I do have some updates. I have some answers, some insight, some possible help, intel from other local people and organic farmers about an hour from me that we know their family concerning the garden. I'm gonna show you a couple pictures from today. Today looked even worse, which apparently is typical because as everything sets in and the damage takes hold, it just gets worse. And then I'm gonna come back and tell you all the details of what I found out. You can see the devastation. They're just bare, just burned everything. See how bare they are. The leaves just fall off. Okay, so you can tell from the pictures, little video. I mean, it just looked like a hot mess today. It was. I mean, my cucumbers are just bare, and the leaves, almost all of them they just dropped off. They were everywhere. So what this is called is cytotoxicity, which means it is chemical burns. It is chemical induced of what happened to it. Like I said, there's an organic farmer. It's a family farm. About an hour or so from us, I end up, having contact, videos, pictures, description, everything. And he knew exactly what it was. It happened to them about a year and a half ago. And they think same thing, crop dusters. My question is, I am not near where a farm or something is that they would have been flying over and spraying where we're at. I do have heavy wooded areas that even nature preserves that are around us, like right up against our property, that I don't know. Was it like some places you'll see where they'll spray for mosquitoes? So it could be pesticides, herbicides, fungicides, it could be anything, but it is definitely chemical burns. In that one picture, you see a leaf, and the pattern that is on so many of them, it looks like a splash, splattered pattern on them, which is typical in anything that was kind of protected or in our barrier. That's all the stuff that's potted herbs and different things I have in pots that are on my porch that don't take as much sun. Those are fine throughout the yard in different areas. There's damage on different things. So with that, the chemical damage, I'm just reading some of the description that had this with the, it can be the spots, the blotching, the browning, the tip turning, leaf cupping, twisting, stunting, the plant that kills the plant, on and on. It can be several different things. So we have been out there, and I have to get all the, I guess, kind of really bad affected leaves, foliage out. If you have anything like, and this is stuff that was been advised to me, like hay or mulch or anything, I kind of, depend on what the plant is I have out, we put things like that around it. And some of it I do, I tell you, I just do what works at different times. Is like a permaculture type thing. Like everything kind of is mixed. It just depends on what it is. Because we do things very organic, natural, and things like that. Is you have to pull all of that out, especially like hay and mulch and stuff, because it's going to hold it, it's going to absorb it and keep it, and then it's going to keep on leaching in. So I had to go out and remove all that, as much as I can. There are some plants that they're ruined. They're not going to be salvageable, and I'll talk to you about the detail of that. And I had to take them out. My tomato plants, I mean, I am devastated. It just hit me another wave, and how it looked even worse this morning. I was devastated this morning out there because I love my garden, and I mean, it's a huge loss for our family. It's we without we eat out of that. That is the largest part of our, you know, vegetables and stuff like that we consume is from that, and everything's been doing so good except for those two things. I've just had an abundance. It looks bad. It looks bad. I hate it, and I am finding more and more this is happening and has happened to others. You know, I have to. This is me. I have to question because a lot of ones I'm hearing about is in just these rural areas. Some are saying I don't have farms, you know, around me. There's no spraying, which my situation there isn't. I'm not near, you know, I mean, good driving distance, but I'm not near where they have farming or crops laid out that they would be over here crop dusting. So I don't know. I don't know what caused it, but it is, I mean, there's proof is in the pudding. These are chemical burns. And when we were out there, Huck and I were out there and we were trying to get as much stuff out. Our nose is like started running like water. The opening of our nose and up in our sinuses is burning. It's a bitter smell, a chemical bitter smell anywhere. And it was kind of a misty rain when we were out there. So I noticed some of the wet leaves that were touching my skin were getting like prickly heat look, like how prickly rash looks and blotchy. And it became itchy. So it's affecting us in that way. So we've pulled that out. I was advised, and what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to use activated charcoal. I'm going to do activated charcoal in the garden because it will pull and absorb any of these chemicals. No matter which one it was, it's going to pull it. Now, what I'm saying that is I'm also, because it's happened, and and sadly it's happened to a lot of people, and so I want to use this as a learning experience. Even, you know, I'm not going to let something that was like, you know, awful. I've got to have a learning experience from this, and hopefully it can help others as well. And you guys, you know, put things down in the comments. But the activated charcoal will pull that out of the plants and the soil and stuff around it. That's a must because of the soil, number one. There are plants that look really rough that I'm still going to leave in place. And even if I do not eat, you know, the fruit, vegetable, whatever that it produces, I want to test and see how effective the activated charcoal is as far as removing it from everything. You see what I'm saying? This has to be a learning experience because sadly I think these type of things are going to continue. That's just my opinion. So that is something I'm going to try. Removing all the hay, any of the hay and the mulches around it has to come out. Any of the effective leaves, but most of them, like in that video, literally it is just like bare, like they just like fell to the ground. I have never experienced anything like this. It is so bizarre. So I have to get all of that out so it doesn't start leaching. Like we even have a wisteria that is on an archway, an arbor that goes on. It's same thing, not nearly as bad. It almost looks like a stripe like a row just went through a certain area that was most concentrated, worse, heaviest damage, I should say. But then even things in the front and different areas of the yard, you can see damage. With that, now it's something like this been going on probably because I talked to two friends of mine and said over the last 2 weeks they've been having, you know, a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, you know, several days ago, they were having different things happen like this. Was the birds, but also if something like that had been going on, because, you know, like I said before, we were gone that week. There was the dead birds in, you know, different areas of the yard, and other people have been having them that are they're close in my area. They're right in this kind of neck of the woods, as we say. And they've had that also. You know, Huck and I are just, because there was a sudden change in our bees. And I had talked about that, and I was just like, I don't know what's wrong with these things. They're just grumpy. And I tell Huck, you better get a hold of your girls because they're grumpy. I don't know what's wrong with them. But there is a thing, and you can look this up yourself. Those chemicals, they will affect them that way. And their behavior and their all of that will make them act weird. So also when we were in the garden, which I usually, you know, we see his bees all over the place. I give them credit all the time for helping our garden so much. we saw, now the bees, when they're going to die, their life cycles, which is short, they will go away from the hive to die. They do that. They know when they're about to, that's the end for them. They go away, and you will see that. But they don't act sickly or weird. We saw several bees in the garden when we were out there, and they're on the ground and they're just kind of flipping in circles. They're just kind of, their bodies are kind of flipping in circles, which usually means usually you would think about something like that, and it's when bees and stuff have come in contact with something like Roundup that you hear all the time, but it's some type of that type of chemical of sort. Some type of chemical agent. It kind of causes that neurological central nervous system reactions they get. You'll be able to tell that. Plus, bees and stuff who also get that, and we had seen it before when some of our bees would come out, go away, go out and come back, is they walk, when they're kind of walking on something, they're do these little orange dropping like things behind them, and that is another sign. So there's no doubt it's chemical. I don't know what level it came from. I don't know. It's just odd. So I wanted to keep you updated, and I will kind of document this as we go. I'm going to do the activated charcoal. We've removed, which I've been out there this morning. I've removed most of the day. Like I said, the ground covering, the leaves that I have to. Some of them, like I have some tomato plants, and it's just like, and they're full of green tomatoes. They're just absolutely full. The tomatoes itself look okay. They look okay. They don't look like the plant itself or the leaves or anything. But the plant and the leaves of it look awful. I've left some intact, except for what was really kind of burnt and just kind of fell off. Was, so damaged it would just, you could just shake it or barely touch it. Same as peppers, it would come off. Because I want to see, I need to be able to test to say, this is how this looks so awful, and I treated it with this, and I want to see what it does. I just have to. Even if I don't eat any of that, I have to try, so I know for myself, and hopefully can help others. God forbid anyone else goes through this. Even like with the peppers, which have been doing fantastic, super healthy, doing great. Just they've been doing great. If you even barely kind of touch the stem, even the main stalk of it, or actually kind of bumped against it when we were kind of cleaning that stuff, the ground covering out, some of the peppers would just fall. They would just fall like the leaves and stuff. And that's from a chemical. It's damaged, it's so harshly. So that's where we're at. That's where we're at with things. And, we have to press on. Yes, I'm devastated, and it's a big blow to us. And, I don't know. I'm just upset about it, but we press on, and, like I said, we're going to learn from this, and hopefully I can share that and help others in some way. If any of y'all been the same as the other video, you've been through this, read different things, seen different things, whatever, put it in the comments, help me out, help the community out. I really appreciate it. And so we're just going to go from there and see how it works out, or if we have any success at all. You can go and have your soil and different things tested. I will say I won't drop who it was. I did call kind of one, I guess, government type agency in the area, and they didn't seem to have any interest or care whatsoever about it. So I don't know. That's more telling to me. But anyways, because this isn't normal and it happened so quickly, I don't know. But that's where we are. So I will keep you guys posted. Thanks to all of you. I've been getting tons of email. I've been getting news clips. People were saying this is in the news in several different places. One of them was in Oklahoma. I've seen that one a couple times where this farmer, it wasn't like a huge farm, but it was like overnight something came through, and he said just kind of sabotaged his garden. And it was the same thing. It was just dead, burnt. It had all these chemical burns. It was just laid over, as well. So, that's very telling. And it's, that's that scary evil of things. But it's going on. So we got to learn from this. So everyone stay well, God bless, and I will see you next time.